This video is to talk about how to handle your money when you're traveling, how to keep your cash safe, your ATM cards or a thumb drive or whatever is important to you. And in my experience, if you want to keep your cash safe, if you don't want to keep yourself from getting robbed, it's important to hide your cash. And here's how I do it. I use what they call secret pockets. And what I do is I sew them into my pants or if I need to in an emergency, I just use safety pins. I use the safety pins to put them in to fasten them to my pants, or if I'm really desperate, I use safety pins to just pin them into my underwear. The idea is to keep your cash and your valuables underneath your clothes or inside your pants, because in my experience, no one's ever robbed me and then put their hands in my pants. I don't think that'll happen to you either, but who knows? Anything's possible. Anyways, let me show you what I mean. All right, here we go. Here's what I'm talking about. You have the white ones like this. They're a little bigger. Then you have these yellow ones you can get online, and I'll put a link in this video. Now the trouble with these old style ones, or the yellower ones, is when you wash them, they shrink up. So you can't lay your money down flat like this. They just won't fit. Like in this example, this one hasn't been washed yet. So as you can see, it looks like it'll fit in laying it crosswise. But when it shrinks, you won't be able to. You have to fold your money over like this just to get your money in there. So it's not as effective as, say, this one. As you can see with this one, I got some money inside of you. I'm not sure if you can tell from the camera. And what I do is I sew it into my pants right here. And then what I do is when I lay the money down flat, and then I just fold it up like that. And then usually if you have the volume of cash is a lot, if you just leave your shirt untucked, you can't really see it at all. Even if your shirt's tucked in, you don't really notice it. Especially if you wear a belt, it really will hide it. Here, let me show you. Put everything in like that. Sorry about that. Then what I do is just fold it up like this. It's already been sewed. This would already be sewed into my pants, or just safety pin it. Then I put it in. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is the old style ones. As you can see, I just sewed it right in, just one stitch right across. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller than this one. And that's what I do. And if the volume of cash is just a lot, or you just have a lot of stuff you want to carry, I put one on this side of my pants, one on this side of my pants. And like I said, if I really need it, I'll just use safety pins and safety pin one of them into my underwear. I don't really do that anymore, but if you're in an emergency, that's what you may have to do. When it comes to keeping your stuff safe, in my experience, what I found is just to keep a low profile. Don't dress up too nice and don't dress up too fancy. Jeans and a t-shirt works for me. That's what I do. Uh, just be aware of your surroundings. If you feel like you're in a dangerous situation, get out of it. I've been robbed 2 times in my life, once in Mexico and once in the Philippines. And in the Philippines, I had a pocket inside my pants. And they just felt my pants and they just asked me to take out the contents of my pockets, which I did, which wasn't very much, maybe $100. And it happens so fast that they don't check inside your pants. They just don't realize it, or they don't care, or they're happy with the amount of money they've given you. And the same thing happened in Mexico. In fact, it was in Mexico City. It can be traumatic while it's happening to you, but if you keep the volume of your wealth, small, and the rest of it, in a bank account that you access with an ATM card. As a matter of fact, I would recommend you have 2 ATM cards. Both accounts you should set up so you can switch cash back and forth, so you can manage the accounts. So like if one got turned off, or if one got frozen because you had money taken out of it or something like that, unauthorized you still have the other one, and then you can transfer one to the other while you're working out your problems, getting it fixed or getting your refund or whatever. Anyways, that's about all I want to say about it is keep a low profile, keep your money inside your clothes, and then forget about it. It's just not likely you're gonna get robbed. And as far as my ATM cards, I don't really keep my ATM cards inside my secret pockets here. What I do is I keep them outside side of my clothes so I have easy access to them. And then normally when I'm not using them, I either keep them in my hotel or my apartment. So uh, they're not with me all the time anyways. I just carry them when I actually need to get cash. If I'm actually traveling, then I'll keep one accessible. It's the same with my passport. I don't keep a passport in here or ID too much. I hide that in my luggage. I've never had any problems with my luggage getting stolen or broken into. So if you travel and you're staying in $10 to $20 hotels, at least in my experience in Latin America, I haven't had any problem. The thing there is to stay in family type owned hotels where the management usually is just other family members. So when you stay in a nice hotel like that that's family owned, usually, it's self-selecting. They only will employ their family members, and if they're dishonest, they go out of business pretty fast, or they develop a bad reputation, which you'll be aware of. Now with everything online, it's really hard and harder to hide these kinds of things. So that's some things to consider. Keep the most of your cash in your ATM accounts, your emergency cash in your pocket, your inside pocket, and then an ATM card, maybe two. You hide them separately in your luggage. Um, if you want, you could keep an ATM card here, but what I found is when it forms around your body, it kind of bends the card. It's still usable, but you never know. And now with the new cards that are coming out, they have those chips in them. I don't know if it would damage them or not, but I keep my cards in one of those little special containers now, so they can't lift your identity information from your cards. And I keep it that deep inside my backpack typically, or if I'm not traveling in my apartment, I usually rent an apartment somewhere, and I just take one when I need one. And then I'm just aware of my surroundings. Like I said, I haven't been robbed in a long time, and it's usually not too traumatic or anything. And some of the stories you hear about where people are taken out, made to lie down, and they strip you naked. I'm not saying that's not true and it doesn't happen, but it's very rare. And that's usually a situation where you've been set up. There's nothing you can do about that, but do the best you can with the resources you have. Typically, it's just something that happens really fast. They rob you, they just want to get 20 or 50 bucks. Typically, it seems that makes them happy, it seems to me. And then that's about it. Um, I haven't had any experiences where I've been robbed or they wanted my passport, my ID. Usually, they can't even use it anymore. The way the new passports are with their new security features, they're just not really wanted too much. And if that were to happen, I think that's more likely to happen when you leave your bag in a hotel and someone in the hotel or motel comes in and tries to rob you. I don't know if typically that doesn't happen too much, but I suppose it does happen in some of the five-star hotels where they have a high transfer of people coming and going in places like that. But I don't stay in places like that. Typically, I just stay in like the low-end places for 10 or 20 bucks, which are in great abundance across Latin America. Well, that's all I have to say about this. So let me know what you think. Comment, like the video. Thanks.